All right, everybody, what's happening? Good morning. We're here live on the Nashville Restaurant Review Show, and we have my new friend, the owner slash co-owner slash pastry chef of Kneadle and Thredd, Gianna Valone. Gianna, how are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Great to be here.
I'm excited to learn about you, the business, the bagel. Is it bombs or Bombays?
It's Bagel Bombs.
It's bombs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these bagel bombs that I was staring at last night saying, oh, no, you can't be doing this to human beings. So what's your actual background in the restaurant business?
I've actually been a veteran pastry chef. I've worked for the last 12 years in hotels professionally. So basically pastry has been my life, my whole adult life.
So has the ultimate dream to be your own business all along, or was this something that just kind of happened? I was thinking even did COVID push this into motion?
This is definitely the dream. I've always really wanted to have my own shop, whether it be a cake shop. I think when I first started, I was like, oh, I want to be, a cake artist forever. And then that quickly changed. But yeah, the main goal has always been to have my own business. And I think definitely through COVID in 2020, it kind of, not just for me, but I think for a lot of people, have gotten them out of their comfort zone, and they kind of hit rock bottom, not in necessarily a negative way, but I think it pushed a lot of people to do what they really wanted to do and take that risk because, you really had nothing to lose last year, and it definitely showed me that. So I just finally said, you know what, I'm going to get out of the corporate world and I'm going to do my own thing and see what happens.
I love that. We did the same thing here in my house, because you're in that corporate world, and I think it opened a lot of people's eyes to where you don't realize, like, you have it 1 minute, the next minute, bye-bye.
Exactly. Everything's temporary, right?
Yeah, for sure. So you're set up now, like you have Kneadle and Thredd, which how did Kneadle and Thredd come about? Like, how was the name thought of?
Well, I always kind of do the play on words and try to do the cutesy stuff that like makes people really think about it. And maybe 6 months ago, I was just messing around drawing like a logo and just kind of bouncing ideas off my boyfriend of like business names and stuff like that. And we always wanted to do this together. So we figured we needed kind of like a something and something. So it's both of us together, and he kind of heads the beverage side of things and I do the pastry side of things. And we just came up with Kneadle and Thredd, a play on words of like, obviously kneading bread. So that's the needle aspect. And then Thredd is going to be our coffee side of things, whether we eventually get to have our own roasting and stuff like that once we do have a brick and mortar. So that's how Kneadle and Thredd was born in the name. It was just kind of like both of us working together, and you can't, Our quote was, you can't enjoy one without the other. So you can't enjoy pastry without coffee.
So true. I like that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. So right now, like you said, the goal is the brick and mortar. So how are you set up now, and how can people get the bombs and these coffees?
So it's a little bit difficult in the realty business, especially with last year. So that was definitely out the window when I first started. So I am basically just set up at markets. So I am in 3 markets a week. I'm in 12 South on Tuesdays. Fridays, I'm at Hip Donaldson. And then on Saturdays, I'm at the big Nashville Farmers Market downtown. And I also do delivery. So I will literally hand deliver it to your house within the Nashville area. Monday through Friday. So there's definitely ways to get the bagel bombs, and hopefully by this time next year, we'll be settling down into a brick and mortar.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Now, did you think of or contemplate at all possibly going like the next step, maybe being like a cart or a truck, or is just jump right to the brick and mortar?
I did. Originally we were going to start doing the markets and then see how business went and get a cart. Well, it turns out that we just got busy enough to where we were doing pop-ups and the markets that we kind of wanted to just jump over the cart and then just try to, really save and get that brick and mortar, because that really is the end goal. And we're pretty much set up now that we don't really need a cart. Yes, it'd probably be better in the rain if we had a truck or something like that. But it's been working out great. And, we just kind of changed our business plan a little bit and decided to just like forego that part and go straight into a brick and mortar when, the time is right.
I hear you. I mean, you might as well, you're already pursuing the dream and the goal. Just jump right into it. Go for it.
Exactly.
So, that was one thing I was saying, like you were saying, how you do the local markets throughout the week. And I saw, I think it was last month, like you did 4 in one day. I'm like, how the hell did you do that?
Yeah, it's a lot. I think the only thing that really saves me is everything that I'm producing is coming from one single product. So it saves me time kind of on the back end with the baking and back of the house aspect where I'm just making a ton of bread at one time. And it kind of allows me to just be set up, ready to go to do different, let's say like yesterday, for example, I was at 2 different markets. One was 100 people, and then I was at a market last night. So it allows me the freedom to kind of just bake everything and be done with it instead of having like a bunch of different recipes. So it allows me to be out more instead of, slaving away in the kitchen, trying to get everything set up for one day.
Right. Now, how about let's talk about these bagel bombs. How did the bagel bomb come to be? Did you like? Obviously, you must love bagels, like we all do. So, did you think to yourself you want to do something different, or did you think to yourself initially like, let's just do bagels? Or being pastry, why not just do pastry and leave out the bagels?
Well, I think, along the lines when we were first starting to really think about this, and my main goal is definitely not bagel bombs. They will always be a part of it, but I thought, what does Nashville not really have around? What would make me stand out? And I mean, there's tons of people around Nashville who could do, what I do, some even better. So it's kind of like, how do I stand out? And I've had bagel bombs before in the past when I was out living in California. And I think it was like one of the greatest things I've ever eaten. And then I found out that it actually came out of New York City. So I'm definitely not the original thought out of here, but I put my own spin on it, and I don't bake the cream cheese inside. Okay. And that's what makes it different. So it's kind of like, I tell people it's kind of like a donut, but with cream cheese and bagel bread instead.
So how, I'm sure your boyfriend must be very happy when it comes to tasting time for new recipes.
Yes.
How about, I mean, some of the ones that I was coming across was the first one, I'm a spicy nut. So I see you have hot chicken and cream cheese. Like,
yes,
I want to know about this.
Well, since we're in Nashville, you have to have something that appeals to, the culture here and what does Nashville bring to the table. And definitely hot chicken. I mean, you see it everywhere, and you can actually buy the hot chicken seasoning. So I really just use that seasoning and mix it with the cream cheese. So it gives you that spicy, satisfaction of eating hot chicken, but it is vegetarian, it's just using cream cheese. There's no chicken in it. And it gives you that kick, you eat it and you get that spice and you start to sweat a little bit, and it's really good. It's a really good bomb.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Now, how about, because I'm Italian, I think you're Italian too.
Yes, I am.
The Italian Stallion. What's in that one?
So I use like it's heavy on the tomato. So it's more of like a tomato basil flavor when you eat it. And it's like dried, sun-dried tomato powder that I also use in there too. So it gives you that like pizza sauce flavor of when you eat pizza. It gives you those herbs. So it kind of brings you to like a comfort when you eat it. So that's why I tell people, I was like, if you love pizza, you're going to like this one too.
Speaking of pizza, I see you do pizza bombs too.
Yes. So we definitely reached into our childhood a little bit, and, Bagel Bites were super popular when I was growing up, and these are the perfect size. They don't have a hole in them. So it's literally just like one, mini pizza, enough for, a snack or for a kid to eat. And it was definitely a hit. We haven't brought them to the markets recently just because it's been pretty busy over summer. But we sell it as like a frozen take and bake item with the directions right on the package. Cool. Yeah, you pop it right in your oven and it's ready to go in about 15 minutes.
Wow. Look at that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, who doesn't love Bagel Bites? Come on.
Right.
They were a mainstay at my
Oh,
poker parties with my friends.
yeah.
It was like the thing you had to have. Like, make sure you get the Bagel Bites.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
So, what are some of your favorite ones that you do?
Well, I have one right now. It's called the Firecracker, and I actually use my vendor neighbor at the Nashville Farmers Market. He owns Skip's Peppers, and we've been very friendly since day one. And he's very welcoming, trying to help me get into the market. And he's like, "Oh, you got to use my pepper seasoning. You got to use my pepper seasoning." So finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do one for July and call it the Firecracker. So I use his smoked hot pepper seasoning, and I mix it with a cream cheese, and it's spicy. It's definitely got a kick to it, but it's got like that smoky, delicious aftertaste. So he was definitely over the moon when I finally launched that, and said, "Hey, I'm using Skip's peppers now." So that's probably one of my favorites right now, just because it's a little bit different in the spice. It gives you that spicy satisfaction with that smoky aftertaste, which is really good.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how about we mentioned coffee, and I saw you guys do like an iced tea and an iced coffee. So I'm guessing this is like the, again, dabble in the feet.
Yes. Yeah, we do our own cold brew, and we're trying to start partnering with Mad Joe Roasters, which
Okay.
they're at the markets too,
Yeah.
small business. They roast out of their house, great people.
Yep.
We absolutely love their coffee. So we're going to try to partner with them and start making cold brew with only their coffee. And we do the whole thing. We steep it for, a long time. And we get this really good cold brew that we usually just bring to our Saturday markets, just because it is, a multiple day process. But that's definitely where we want to go, have really fun espresso drinks and whatnot when the time comes.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're great people. We talked to them earlier in the year, and it's funny. They sent me some coffee, and I have a Keurig. I don't have a coffee maker, so I finally got a coffee maker a few weeks ago, and I tried it, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's real." Yeah. You know the difference. I'm like, "That's real coffee." I know what real coffee tastes like now.
Exactly. And they had their blueberry coffee recently, and I swear I think we've bought like at least 4 pounds of that specifically.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. So I mean, that's one thing too. Like, I'm originally from the Philadelphia area, and all the owners or chefs and everybody I talk to, the one difference that always stands out to me here in Nashville in this restaurant community is that you all work together. Like in Philly, it's a war. It's a war. Very rarely. I mean, the ones that like the cheesesteak kings, they all get along because they're all like flourishing like crazy. But everybody else, it's cat scratch fever across the board. Like, it's not a friendly community. So down here, it blows me away when I see people are like happy and working together and sharing social media posts and liking each other's social media posts. I'm like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we're all in this together, and at the end of the day, we're just trying to do our best. And I have a much different product than Mad Joe Roasters, but it's like, you get to talking, you do collaborations, and you find great products out there, and everything's local, which is the greatest thing. So it's like your local, producers are coming together and creating like an ultimate product for the people to buy. And you can't get much better than that. It's way better and, way more personal than just going to the grocery store and buying, no offense to Starbucks, they're great, but buying their bags of coffee and using that for a cold brew, people might not notice the difference. We do, but people might not notice the difference, but it helps out our other local, producers as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what are some of the other things beside the bagel bombs that you guys have or you're going to be bringing out?
Well, I'm actually just doing R&D in the kitchen today. So you caught me on a good day. We're definitely trying to launch some new products that obviously contain bagel. I don't want to really give away too much because it's going to be kind of a surprise over the next few weeks of like what we're actually going to be releasing. But we are definitely trying to think outside the box and come up with different products that aren't just a bagel bomb. We just started doing catering a little bit here and there, which is really great, for the corporate office and stuff like that. So we want to try to do, bagel boards where it's like basically a charcuterie board, but with bagels, toppings, and whatever you want, and using our bombs there because they're little. So it's easy to go over there and, take a snack and then go back to your business for the day. So We've got exciting things coming, but I don't want to reveal too much.
Now you say they're little, and I've yet to have one, which is going to change in the very near future. But I mean, they look like the size of a baseball, easy.
Yeah, so they're about I would say they're definitely good in your one hand. I put an ounce of cream cheese inside, so if that kind of gives you a perspective, it's got the ratio. I swear, it's like the best ratio. You have cream cheese everywhere, which me, I love just piling on the cream cheese. So when you eat it, it's got cream cheese on every bite, and you're satisfied. But it definitely fits in your hand. You probably don't want to share it with anybody. But it's small. I would say it's a little bit smaller than a regular bagel.
Yeah. So what's your favorite one?
Oh, that's so hard. I actually, we have one called the Pop Locks and Drop It. It's available on our website, and that's probably my favorite. It's lox mixed with the cream cheese, and I mean, I just go back to eating cream cheese and smoked salmon all the time growing up, and even now. So there's no better combination than just having everything inside the bomb. Like, you don't have to sit there and put it all together. Your lox is already mixed in with the cream cheese. I thought about doing some capers in it, but I don't know. It doesn't really sit right with me inside the bomb, but that's definitely my favorite.
Did you attempt a personal one with capers?
I did, and I think it's hard sometimes because when you're mixing in ingredients with the cream cheese does get softer, and since we are piping it inside, it's kind of hard to do it as if it's like a schmear consistency, it's fine, but to pipe it into a bagel bomb, you have the bread kind of pushing back and it kind of explodes if your cream cheese is a little bit too soft. So I try to stay away from things that add too much moisture and liquid to the cream cheese just because it gets very soft.
I'm going to throw one out there that just popped in my head. And I was thinking to myself, how many people come up to you and say, you should try this, or you should try this. So now I'm going to be one of them people and say, you should try this. Since we're Italian, how about a cannoli bomb?
I thought about going to the more like dessert side because people think they're cupcakes or, donuts anyway when they see them from far away. So I'm definitely going to start R&Ding some sort of dessert bomb where it's a little bit more of a sweeter bomb than what we're offering already. I think the sweetest one we offer right now is a cinnamon sugar, and it's literally cinnamon sugar cream cheese. So it has that like donut, I guess, kind of satisfaction a little bit. But yes, I am thinking about doing more dessert items with it.
Interesting. Now, how do people buy them? Do they come individually? Do they come like in 6-packs?
It really depends. So when we're at the markets, you can get them individually off our website for delivery. We offer, I think it's a $12 minimum, which I think equates to about 4 bombs with a small delivery fee. So you can definitely order whatever size you want.
That's you're like a DoorDash for yourself.
Basically, yes.
So, all right, and also too, you guys have, which is great, merchandise.
Yes, we do.
Shirts, bags. Right?
Yes,
hats.
we've got bags, shirts, hats. We just got really cool vinyl stickers in, so we've got it. We've got everything.
That's awesome. Now, what's the best way for people to find you guys and get hold of you and get the bombs?
So if you're on our Instagram or Facebook page, it has links to our website, and we have a where to find us page or a section, and that's always up to date. So you can see our next market. You can also reach out. I definitely, I respond to DMs and stuff like that. We're still small, so I can do that. But yeah, we're basically in the same spot every week, and we definitely announce when we're at pop-ups and doing random things too.
Now, how about that? Was that something, now that you're truly the main force behind the business, were you like a social media person before you got into this? Or are you like, wow, this is like a whole nother world now?
Yeah, it's hard because sometimes you post things that you're like, wow, that didn't get as much traction as I thought it would. Or, you're definitely learning on how to post things in the different programs and stuff like that. I don't think I ever really hashtagged anything before I started the business. But I'm learning and I'm getting there, and I kind of see what works and what doesn't. And, I definitely look at what my other vendor friends are doing, and how do they get followers and stuff like that. So it's definitely a learning process every day.
Yeah, social media is it's an interesting thing. It's a nightmare, but it's a beautiful thing. It's funny too with the hashtags now. Like with stuff I use, I'm like 30 hashtags isn't enough. I need more. Like
yeah, it's true. You can't just put 3.
no.
It's like you have to at least put 20, and that's
Yeah.
like it's not even enough sometimes.
I noticed, like, I guess the smart move to do. I notice people like they'll use their 30, and then they start commenting with more hashtags.
Yes, it's crazy. That's too much for me. I just put it in there and hope for the best. I mean, how many hashtags are out there that contain bagel? Is probably thousands.
That's too funny. Now, can you get the drinks too? Or I didn't notice or forget. Were they available on the website as well, or
they're not? So we just try to do that for the Saturday markets. We have brought them to the other markets through the week, but it's hard because I mean, I'll drink coffee all day up until 10 o'clock at night. A lot of people don't drink coffee at night. So we've brought it, and it hasn't really like taken off at the night market. So we are just offering it on Saturday.
Okay. Nice. So where will you be this week? What's your next?
So we'll be at 12 South on Tuesday night, and that's in Sevier Park, and we're there from 4 to 7 p.m.
Nice. Cool. We're gonna pop up one of these days and see everybody.
Awesome. That sounds good.
And the website, let's spell it out so this way it's done correctly, because there's a little twist on it.
Yes, there is. So it's Kneadle and Thredd, KNEADLE, and then Thredd is THREDD. So just to make your life a little bit more complicated.
Gianna, this is great. I can't wait to come out and meet you guys. And I gotta meet. There's like a bunch of yous out at these markets that I've interviewed, and I got to come out and meet. And people keep asking me to come out, so we're coming.
Definitely.
Yeah, we're coming to hang out. I'm coming to eat.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Great, thanks. And we're going to be doing a contest. We're going to be launching, I guess, later on today. We're going to get it all finalized. And everybody check out our Instagrams and stay tuned for the contest, and get ready to win some goodies.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Gianna. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day.
You too.